Here at Wembley, Manchester City lead Manchester United by 2-0. And Gary, United had 60% of the possession in that first half, yet find themselves 2-0 down.
Yeah, I think they'll have been happy with the game for 35 minutes. They dominated it in possession. City didn't look like they got into the game, but then the goal changed the game, and to end up 2-0 down, I mean, City will be absolutely over the moon with that, particularly considering the first 35 minutes of the match.
And Jamie, for that first goal, how good was this delivery from David Silva?
Oh, it's exquisite. It's exactly what this little man can do and what he brings to this Manchester City side. He has such a lovely left foot, and people might look at David De Gea for this. I personally don't blame him. That ball is so well delivered. It's at exactly the right height. Keep your eye on Johnny Lescott as well. He shows aggression to get in there. He just gets in between Vidic and Ferdinand. He almost gets his left arm as well on Rio Ferdinand. Look, keep it on his left arm, so he doesn't let Rio get up anywhere. Doesn't get an elevation, and Lescott's up earlier than what Rio is. And really good header as well by Johnny Lescott.
Difficult to defend against.
It is, because I think they go too deep too early, which means De Gea's got no chance to come out and actually collect the ball. So great delivery, but they just went a little bit too deep, and he got in between Rio and Vida. Could
the goalkeeper, the new goalkeeper, have done better for the second goal, Gary?
I think he could. I think when you score from this distance, I mean, Dzeko's in a lot of space. You know, from goal, and at first you think, could he have been closed down? But you see Mario Balotelli just runs in behind Nemanja Vidic, but the way it goes, I think it goes in 5 yards off the inside of the post, and you know, as a defender, I would have always been upset if my goalkeeper got beat from there. I mean, he absolutely smashes it, to be fair to him, and it swerves at the last minute. But I just don't think he sets himself quick enough, and he gets a little bit surprised by it, I think.
Exactly. He does explode off his foot, but he conceded 11 goals in the league last year from outside the box. That was the most out of all the keepers. So that will be, I think, the idea this year will be to shoot from outside the box and to test him, because he's obviously susceptible from outside of like 25 yards out, and he didn't seem to set himself. Great strike, but Gary's right, you've got to do better than that.
What have you made of United going forward, Gary?
They look good. I mean, some of the interpassing between Ashley Young, he's coming off that side. I think he was giving Micah Richards some problems. I think Welbeck and Rooney's link play has been excellent at times, and they've looked dangerous. Like I said, this is some of the play here. Welbeck's running, Ashley Young's running, they've coming off the flanks, and they look really dangerous in that first 25-30 minutes, and City was struggling to pick them up in between the spaces.
Oh, Gary, I mean, I sat here for 30 minutes and I thought, I've been so disappointed in Manchester City. But I think what Mancini did, he made a really good tactical change. He just brought David Silva just inside a little bit, because he was playing on the right, he was lost, he wasn't getting any of the ball. All of a sudden, he just came into the middle a little bit more. Balotelli came over to the right, and a little genius in that team started to get a little bit of the ball. And then Manchester City started to play, because they were sitting back, they were making it. You know, they didn't have any expression in their play. There was no intensity about the when trying to get the ball back. Balotelli and Dzeko were just letting Manchester United have the ball. But as goals have changed the games, and now Manchester United got it all on.
They have. What will Sir Alex do next? As expected, it's been anything but a friendly between these two. It's been feisty, and 2 goals so far. Less good. And then Dzeko. United have got work to do. Second half next. Up against 2 new centre-halves in this second half. Vidic and Ferdinand both coming off. Michael Carrick, the man changed as well. Particularly excited, aren't you, about seeing the man on the left? And Tom Cleverley's impressed in pre-season, hasn't he, Gary?
He's done really well. Had a good year at Wigan last year. Really intelligent player. Someone who, to be honest with United, I think, in his second year apprenticeship, were thinking of letting go. He was actually part-time playing. I think he was only coming in 2 or 3 times a week, but his attitude's been absolutely brilliant, and now he's really highly thought of, and big chance for him.
Fascinating to see how he gets on. Let's get confirmation of those changes. Ray Wilkins, and first Martin Tyler.
Thanks very much, Ed. Phil Jones to make his Manchester United debut. Johnny Evans, of course, has been around a while, and it's Cleverley's Manchester United debut as well. The boys in the studio saying he'd had a good pre-season. He's had 2 or 3 good pre-seasons with Manchester United, but they've never kept him on. They've taken him on loan. He went to Leicester, he went to Watford, and of course he played a big part in helping Wigan stay in the Premier League last season.
Yes, absolutely, and Robbie Martinez speaks really, really high of him as well. And it's lovely to see these young men coming through at such big clubs as Manchester United from the youth ranks. It's really encouraging for the other guys that are at the club as well.
No changes for Manchester City, who lead by 2 late-ish goals in that first half to 0. And if you remember the FA Cup semi-final, Manchester United started that game very well as well against City here in April. Berbatov missed a couple of early chances. And once City got in front, that was the end of United. And they've got 45 minutes to Try and at least take it to what would happen if it was level after 90 minutes. Straight to penalties, no extra time, of course, in the Community Shield. Now what can Ashley Young come up with here? James and Smalling looking to attack it. Welbeck as well. And it's put in by Chris Smalling. And Manchester United have got one back. And Ashley Young has made it. Great delivery. That's very promising for United. And Smalling sneaked in. 2-1.
That's another great delivery, this. He does have this in his locker, Ashley. And young Chris Smalling, it's a lovely little touch. He just takes all the pace off as it comes through. Poor marking from Dzeko, allows him to run, but that's a very, very good finish from young Chris Smalling. Look at this, just takes the pace off it, just lifts it over the top of Joe Hart. Excellent goal. Game on.
In goes Welbeck. Young's on the scene again. Scrambled away by Milner. Well, they are the defending champions. He felt that they got a previous 10 in 90 minutes. It's actually, if you count the shootout wins, it's 1-5, lost 5. Not exactly a second home for them. Here's Cleverley. And now Rooney. And now Nani. City trying to put up the barricades. Oh, Nani's in. It's brilliant play. It's a wonderful, truly wonderful Wembley goal from Manchester United for Nani in the Community Shield. And in a flash, really, 2-0 up for City has become 2-2.
You've only got to see the way these guys are celebrating, how much this means to Manchester United getting back these 2 goals. But what a magnificent goal. This passing and movement was just superb. Now, you have to stay with runners. You know, City can't allow them to play around and just let them move off the ball. You have to stay with runners. They didn't pick Nani up, but what a finish. That was an absolutely sublime goal. Look at this, 1 and 2 touch all over the pitch. It's beautiful. That's something you see on a 5-a-side in training. Absolutely fantastic.
And if you've been watching Manchester United on their US tour, there've been stacks of this stuff. Goals that they've almost walked into the net. And that's the latest example of the attacking flair that Alec Ferguson's got in his squad here. Nani hadn't scored since he last faced Manchester City in the league back in February. Well, he scored here to round off a movement that bewildered what is a pretty brilliant defence.
That was a magnificent goal. Absolutely brilliant. I've been very, very impressed with Ashley Young today, I've got to say. He's really settled into this Manchester United team really, really well in such a short period.
So it's Gareth Barry for Mario Balotelli. It's Manchester City 2, Manchester United 2. And the cup winners have just had a blast from the champions.
Yes, they certainly have. Now I think...
I don't know whether Balotelli's had a blast or not, but it is sensible really to go and get showered, isn't it? Right, or is it not? Would you expect him to stay and watch?
Change his shirt and watch his teammates have a really tough half an hour, because that's what it appears it's going to be.
Well, hopefully he'll be back out quickly with the right sort of...
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will.
Top on. Unfortunately. Swinging away, it went through a few, including Chris Smalling. Rooney was trying to give that a bit of a bend into the top corner.
I think he hit it well as well.
It's really been an hour of 3 quite different 20-minute periods. Manchester United on top the first 20. Manchester City then got a couple of goals in their strong session. Now Manchester United have found some reward for some fruitful football, some scintillating football. And here they are looking with half a chance with Rooney to take the lead. Only half a chance from that angle.
That's the second time they got caught with Rooney taking up this really wide position. When the first corner came in from the right-hand side, he was spare on the far side of the box. And again, this creeps all the way through, and that's Rooney taking up that very wide position. And Michael Richards lunging in to try and block his shot. But they've got to be aware of Wayne Rooney being left alone on the edge of that penalty box.
to Adam Johnson. Can he see a way to goal? And in the end, Dzeko could, but couldn't find the power to beat De Gea.
Again, the initial ball won by Michael Richards. This time, bring it down on his chest and plan a chest pass.
It was 2 years ago, you'll remember it, Ray. 2-2 between Chelsea and Manchester United in the Community Shield. And the penalties went Chelsea's way.
Oh, well played. Well played, young man.
Anderson. Smalling. Nicely invited to go forward by Nani. Berbatov near post. Rooney's in there as well. Great play by Smalling. Nani, shots on. Comes out to Rooney, cleverly.
Oh, well played Chris Smalling down this side. It was excellent play between him and Nani. This is lovely. And then there's this lovely little dribble there from Nani. Good header from Rooney. It's a lovely cushioned header. And unfortunately, cleverly, he's just under his feet. He can't get it out of his feet.
4 added minutes. Here's David Silva. Well, a little bit further out than the free kick that unhinged Manchester United in the first half. But Dzeko's there, and that was a real chance to win the Community Shield for Manchester City. For a player of his heading ability,
David
to head on it. And Nani gets away from company, and Nani can win it for Manchester United, and surely has done. From 2-0 down, they are 3-2 up. And a catastrophe for the new City skipper. But David De Gea's bad first half is behind him. The same for his teammates. But how things have changed in a fraction, Ray, because Dzeko went in with a header. You were expecting it to be City's goal, City's game. Here,
It's a free header as well, Martin. And it's just clumped away. But look at Nani. Look at the ground he's making up. The effort he wants to put in. Kompany's got to clear the ball. He's got to clean him up right out there. Doesn't allow him. But when Nani gets 1 against 1, there was only one winner there. And this young man again today has scored 2 goals and performed well. Look at the effort that he's putting in. A terrific finish.
well, a remarkable finish to a game that has captured the imagination. Pre-season, Sir Alex? I don't think so. This is in the record books.
This is a big game. This was always going to be a big game between these two fantastic rivals, and I think over the piece, United have deserved to win. They play some wonderful football, and if anything at this stage, they do look at just a touch fitter than Manchester City.
Who would have thought it? Even with Manchester United's renowned capacity for recovery and for late goals.
It's how you're brought up as a United player as well. You never say you've been beaten, never.
Never say never. Just at the moment, Wembley is the nanny state. 2 goals, an equaliser with a sublime finish from a beautiful piece of interplay. Who can't believe it, Roberto Mancini? But Manchester United have done it. They retained the Community Shield. A red success in a Wembley Manchester derby, but how they've had to work for it. Reversing the FA Cup semi-final less than 4 months ago, and reversing the first half of this game, with Mancini's men leading 2-0 at half-time, and seemingly on course for victory here. But Kompany's mistake right at the last, and Nani's second goal after Smalling had got them back into the contest in the second half. That was the recovery from Manchester United. The trophy presentation to come. It's Manchester United trophy. They've won by 3 goals to 2.